Good evening and welcome to another World of Warships video with Darkwing Glacier. This is one of my games in the North Carolina, the Tier 8 American battleship. And this turned out to be a close game, so I decided to make a video of it.
Battle starts.
I've been playing most of my ranked games, at least the early ones, in my Charles Martel, where I had a significant amount of success, and then when my streak of good luck ended, I decided to switch to other ships to see how well I could do in those, including my Benson and my Edinburgh, and I had mixed success with those ships, so I tried the Charles Martel again, got a little further, and eventually I seemed to kind of hit a wall around rank 4 and 5, so I switched to my North Carolina and I have had decent success in this ship. So I've been closing on rank 1 slowly but steadily. So in this battle, most of my team decides to head over to the west side of A. The opposing team has a Chapayev, so they have the radar advantage. Our Loyang is going alone, so I'm a little bit worried about him. Hopefully he'll be smart enough to get the heck out of there if he runs into trouble. And I perform my usual tactic on this map, which is slowly advance on the A and B cap and try to be in a position to shoot either into the A-B cap if I spot anybody, shoot over to C to support my ships over there, and hopefully I'll get a good angle on them if I do, and also support my ships to the west of A and B. So in chat I give warning to my Loyang to be careful because he's all alone. Hopefully he will be careful. And I expressed my concern that he's okay, but he's only okay right now and he could run into trouble real fast. So most of the fleet is going west of A, which leaves the center uncovered. And I'm getting increasingly worried about the Loyang over there. He's already under fire. The Chapayev, the Loyang, and probably the Mogami as well. I try to get a bead on the Chapayev, but he's just behind the mountain, so I advanced a little bit too much to get a good shot on him, which is very frustrating, because he's perfectly broadside to me right now. So I try to reverse, but I may be able to get a shot on him as he passes the other side of the mountain. It looks like most of their ships are going to sea, which is kind of surprising because they do have the Chapayev, which should give them cover in A and B if they wanted to go there. So I take a shot at the only ship I can really see, the Atago. And I get a nice good hit with a Citadel. But unfortunately he's already heading away, so the rest of my team is not going to be able to take good advantage of that. Most of the rest of their fleet is heading towards sea. They're going to cap C. I take another shot at the Atago. There's the Z-23. Of course, my third turret is not aligned properly. Not quite. I see the Z-23 is now moving towards C. Of course, the guns reload infuriatingly slow, especially to someone who's used to mainly driving destroyers and cruisers. Take some speculative shots against the Mogami, because my guns are aimed that way and I'd rather just take the shot than let my shots just let myself go to waste while I look for a better target. The Chapayev now is just behind the island. I might be able to get a shot over the top of that if I can keep him spotted. But the Chapayev is playing smart. He's keeping just enough behind that island that I can't target. Take some shots anyway. And I overshot him. Now I start moving up realizing that if the entire enemy fleet's going to start coming around that corner, I need to get in a position where I can bow tank. There's the Otago I damaged. And I tell the rest of the team to target him because he's at half health. He's on the flank of his team. He should be able to be a target that we can isolate and then eliminate. We have 2 Otagos over there, so I'm hoping that they can overwhelm him. There's the Chapayev again. He's just not in a position where I can get him. The key thing for the North Carolina is that you have to have good positioning in order to be able to contribute to the battle. And that's frankly the most difficult thing to do. I want to say part of it's luck, but I know that a lot of it is just skill that I probably don't have yet. Here I take a shot at the Chapayev. I probably am going to get at least 1 hit here. Nope, overshot him again. So now I'm changing my position because I know that these guys are just hiding behind these islands and there's no way I'm going to get some clean shots off on them unless I change my position to something better. I'm trying to get a nice angle on the Chapayev, but he seems to kind of recognize it and knows where I'm going. Take some more shots at him. I follow these ones in. I realize I'm not going to hit anything. I do get 1 hit, 3,000 damage roughly. And now the Chapayev, since he knows I'm here, is just going to farm me as much as he can. Fortunately, I go undetected again, so Link gets 1 shot off. We didn't quite find the range. Okay, my guns are reloaded. This target is either the Loyang or the North Carolina. I decide to try to support my Loyang a little bit, but it ends up those shots, I believe, end up going wasted. Now, in the center, our Akizuki is in trouble. He's only at 420 hit points, and he's gone. There's the Z-23. Of course, my 3rd turret isn't quite aligned, which is, again, frustrating. There it is, I take my shot. So right now, things aren't going all that great. We do have AB, but we're going to lose it. We don't have any DDs in there to stop them from taking it away from us. There's the Loyang. But again, I just don't have my guns loaded yet, so there's nothing I can do except for telling my team that he's out in the open, he's exposed, he's detected. The Imagi tries some shots and he can't get them. I try to shoot and I know he's backing up. So I take some shots leading him from behind. I do get a hit, but not quite enough. So now they're taking the B-cap. Our Otago is doing his darndest to hit this Z-23, keep him from taking the cap, but he's also exposing himself to the North Carolina in order to do that. At this point I'm thinking I either have to try to support the A-cap, or maybe I can get a nice broadside in this North Carolina, because he's just sitting there, but he's perfectly broadside to me. So if I can get a good enough angle on him, I could probably damage him severely. I see that the Loyang is starting to move again. Maybe I'll take a shot at him. Take a shot at the Mogami. Probably another wasted shot. It's going to land way to the east of him. So if my guns were loaded, I could have taken a shot and killed this Loyang right here, but I got a little too impatient and I took a shot at the Mogami instead. We're still ahead on points, which is good. We scared the Z-23 out of the A and B cap, although now he's going back into it. And again, we don't really have the ships to cover him. Our Otago is still hanging in there, which is admirable, considering what he's going up against. Take some shots against the North Carolina, even though he's well angled against my shots. Unfortunately, I do get a couple penetrations that deal 10,000 points of damage. There's the Z-23. Of course, my guns aren't loaded again. Another 10 seconds to go until they are. We're ahead on points, but oh, not anymore. We just lost our Mogami, so now we need some kills because we're going to lose the A and B cap if we're not careful. We're probably... Yeah, the Z-23 is in the B cap right now. Our Otago is valiantly holding on, but I don't know how long he's going to be able to. So things are getting close, and they're getting a little bit worrisome at this point, because we're running out of time. They're ahead of us on points. They've captured the B cap now. There's the North Carolina. Take some shots on him. He's perfectly broadside. Hoping for some good RNG here. Shells look good. And a kill. Double Citadel.
Enemy battleship.
Spotter returning to ship.
So now I'm feeling a little bit better about things. They have 2 caps now, which is bad. But we're ahead on points. They're going to catch up in a few seconds, though. We need to move in. We need to take the B cap back. Our Amagi is trying to take the A cap. Unfortunately, he's got a Mogami on one side. He's got a Chapayev on the other. I take a shot at the Loyang. 15-kilometer shot. There's almost no chance I'm going to get him, but I try anyway. And I get lucky.
Enemy destroyers.
Get the Loyang. Now there's the Z-23. Take a shot on him, and of course I think I would be tempting fate a little too much to be hoping for a double strike there. We lose our Amagi and basically any chance of getting the C cap now. We're ahead on points. We're capturing B again. Looks like we might be able to pull this out at this point. We're down 1 ship, but we're swarming this A and B cap, so if we can stay alive, and if we can hold on to these 2 caps, then we'll pull it out. Magi's looking semi-broadside. He's kind of angled, but he's showing a decent amount of broadside, so I take a shot at him. I get 1 hit, which is not nearly enough, of course, because he's at about 3/4 health. The Chapayev is running away, which is good news. The more we can get them to run away, the better. We take some blind shots here. Doesn't look like they're going to do anything. So we're still ahead by about 50 points. 7 minutes to go.
Victory is in sight.
So our Otago there, or our Takao rather, he is angled away. I'm worried about him because he's isolating himself. Maybe he is starting to go after the C cap, which would be dangerous. Their enemy Otago is over there, and our Otago has an Otago and a Z-23 coming at him, so he's in trouble. I try to support him by taking some shots at the enemy Otago. Get 1 penetrating hit, which helps, but isn't great. Problem is that I have enemies on both sides of me now, so I'm constantly switching back and forth my turrets, trying to get a bead on somebody, anybody that can give our team an advantage. Our Loyang is still in decent health. Shots at the Mogami. He's angled away, but he's just a cruiser, so I'm hoping that I can do some significant damage to him. All the shells in, and I get 5,600 points, but again, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that much. Problem is now is over here. Our Loyang is in direct line of sight of their Amagi. The Chapayev is firing at him. He's in serious trouble right now. Take some shots at the Chapayev. Just bow on over the edge of the island, and my shots go wide. Or actually, rather, they bracket him. And Lo Yang is still trying to get the heck out of there, but I don't think he's going to make it. Chapayev does some more serious damage to him. The Amagi's guns are probably almost reloaded. Chapayev fires again. And the Lo Yang is on his last legs. At this point I realize I probably need to go into the cap and take it. Or just sit in the middle of A and B. Our Lo Yang goes down by the Chapayev. I do a little bit of damage to the Amagi, not nearly enough of course. On the west side, our Atago succeeds in killing its opposing Atago, but then it dies immediately to a flanking shot from the Chapayev. So the Z-23 is in there. The Amagi is closing in. The Chapayev is closing in. We're at 4 minutes to go. I still have most of my health, which is pretty good. I do have a friendly Atago back here. He was about half of his health. So at this point, I think, you know, I was making that turn thinking that the Atago was going to succeed. The Atago facing the Z-23 and the other Atago over there in the A-cap. So it was kind of a bad decision because as soon as I started making that turn, we lost him. So now I'm doing a 360 degrees here. Trying to kick on the Atago with a shot from my rear turret as I turn. And now my goal is just go right into the middle of the A and B cap. I really have no other choice. In the meantime, I'm hoping that my Atago can continue to burn down the Amagi. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to try to get that Z-23, hopefully with my secondaries, because I can't trust that my primary batteries are going to be able to track him fast enough. Maybe the Chapayev will be foolish enough to stick his nose out. Maybe I can get him too. So I damaged the Atago again. He's only down to 7,700 health. The Amagi should be able to take him out by himself.
The ship is on fire!
I'm on fire, but I'm not worried about that at all. I'm aiming at the Atago, thinking I can take him. Torpedoes are inbound. I'm going to take one. Okay, so I repair that. That's 2 sets of torpedoes. Okay, the Atago does take out the Amagi. So that just leaves the 2 of us against the Z-23, the Chapayev, and the Mogami. I've got plenty of health. My teammates are telling me to cap, which of course I plan on doing. And now I'm pretty much terrified because I'm thinking maybe that Z-23 is going to pop out on the left, swarm me with torpedoes, so I got to take him out fast. Maybe the Chapayev is dead ahead. He's going to look at me. He's going to fire torps. And then there's the Mogami way over there. So I'm not really worried about him. He's the only target I have right now. So I wait for my guns to get over there. I launch my spotter plane. I take shots at him. And there's the Z-23 right in front of him. I'm pretty sure he just launched his torpedo. So all I have to do is close in on him and finish him off. The enemy is at 972 points though. So if I don't do something fast, I'm gonna die. But the Z-23 launches more torpedoes, which kind of surprised me how fast he was able to get those off again. Unfortunately, he brackets me with his torpedoes and I don't take any hits. I'm searching for where he is to try to take a shot at him. But I don't see him at all. He ceased firing. But then there's the Chapayev. They have only 10 points to go. I have 1 shot at this. I fire at his citadel. At 3.7 kilometer range, and I don't get him. 998 points on their side. No way I can get him now, and that's game.